Previous film had been more about uncertainty, a key theme in modern life.
Alors je dis que c'était vous et moi, aussi bien.
Varda and René were left-wing, but this self-taught young critic, François Truffaut, felt that conventional movies were too left-wing, too social. He wanted films to be fresher, more of the moment, more a celebration of the medium itself. In this scene in his first film, Les 400 Coups, a 12-year-old boy is at a funfair. It's like he's in a zoetrope, one of those precursors of cinema where an image was spun in a box. The boy's got neglectful parents, escapes a children's home and goes on the run. But unlike neo-realist films like The Bicycle Thieves, Les 400 Coups is not so much about social problems as the feeling of being alive, like Cleo. Look at the spontaneity of this screen test of the boy, which made its way into the film. It sounds a bit hissy, but Truffaut loved the boy's cocky freshness. He's like the boys in Jean Vigo's Zéro de conduite.
Puis elle m'en a parlé, alors j'étais bien forcée d'avouer que je les avais pris à ma grand-mère. Alors à ce moment-là, elle m'a confisqué le beau livre que ma grand-mère m'avait donné. Puis un jour, j'ai demandé parce que je voulais...
So modern European cinema in the late 50s and 60s was becoming personal, self-aware, about fleeting moments and ambiguity. A revolution indeed. But then came this man, Jean-Luc Godard, the most fascinating character in the French New Wave, the greatest movie terrorist. In his youth, he sat in this cafe, holding a rose, imagining that he was Jean Cocteau. He saw Bresson's film Pickpocket 10 times. He once called his approach to life right-wing anarchism. Godard said that the story of film is about boys filming girls and about men worrying about mortality and women not doing so. As we've seen, the great Catholic French critic André Bazin said that cinema is best when the shot's wide, when our eyes can wander within it. But Godard was such a loner. Someone said that he had a frenzied individuality, that he preferred close-ups, which isolated people from the world. And so, when Godard eventually came to make his first film, what did it look like? This. A car thief with an American girlfriend. Close-ups filmed by cameraman Raoul Coutard, using short rolls of film sold for stills cameras. The back of her head, then cut. The same angle, same girl, same hair, same speed, then cut again. As we've seen from the days of Edwin S. Porter's The Life of an American Fireman onwards, a cut almost always took place to show something else. But Godard uses cuts to show the same thing, but with the sunlight from a different direction, or a slightly different background. There'd been jump cuts before in movies. In this Soviet film, for example, they're used to show a man's mental agitation. But in A Bout de Souffle, they aren't trying to express the woman's mental state, for example. They're there because they're beautiful in themselves, because they emphasize that this is cinema, just as Picasso and Braque used cubism to emphasize the surface of a painting. How modern. Godard and François Truffaut saw cinema not as something that simply captures real life, but that's part of it, like love or cafes. Movies were part of the sensory experience of, say, sitting in a cafe, watching the world go by. Again, back to Jean Seberg's neck. These shots didn't say, here's a woman in a car, which is part of the film's story. They said, I think this moment is beautiful. This moment is true. In other words, I think. A shot is a thought, a director's thought. This was the ultimate bomb that the new wave planted under cinema. But not everything they did was revolutionary.